Hey guys, I just wanted to do my review for Arrow Season 4, Episode 17, Beacon of Hope. So, Brie Larson is hacking into her own jail records while she's in prison and gives herself an early release date. And it jumps to Team Arrow, Saints Felicity having a battle royale kind of styled sparring match in which Oliver comes out on top, and they want to have a break because they know Oliver's being hard on them because of Felicity. And there's a nice little joke about Oliver talking to Laurel when he says, "You don't. Felicity's not Voldemort. You don't have to refer to. You can refer to her by name." And people looking at him saying, "What? I read some of the Harry Potter books." Diggle mentions that would have put money on Thea, that Thea would have said you just watch the movies, and he walks away, and Oliver just walks away saying, "There were movies?" And this is the kind of thing I wish there were more jokes on, and there's actually more humor like this on Arrow than they can do on the Flash. But anyway, basically here's the flashbacks in a nutshell. Ryder starts using telekinesis like Damien Dark. That's about it. Again, it's back to being pointless as shit. And so Brie Larson's out of jail, and she uses the robotic beast to surround Palmer Tech and kill one of the board members, and says that she wants the microchipped in Felicity's spine in order, because we later found out is that she has there's some kind of tumor or something wrapped around her vertebrae, and it's causing her, and the surgery to remove it will cause her to become paralyzed. And basically, Felicity and Thea and her mom, the former who was visiting them because she wanted her to hire Alex, Oliver's former campaign manager, just so he won't take a job from Damien Dark's wife. The latter just to comfort her after breaking up with Oliver, and it just felt like she didn't really need to be there at all. She didn't really add anything, but of course they get trapped inside Palmer Tech, and so they're going through these vents and out these secret passageways to try to avoid the bees. And of course, Curtis, who was sent home earlier, sees what's going on and wants to rush back to the office to help, even though he's sick. And he basically uses his phone to because he knows that Felicity works with Team Arrow, so he uses his phone to be able to track their Arrow cave, and is able to just walk in with ease. And they decide they need a tech expert to rescue Felicity and company, and so he basically becomes part of the team, and he's able to hack into the bees, but the problem is that his connection gets severed, and Oliver gets attacked because now the robotic bees can now form into this robotic sentinel or something, and Oliver gets stung, and Felicity and company are still trapped inside. So, and Curtis realizes that the robotic bees are multiplying inside Oliver's body, and the only way to save him is Laurel's canary cry, which works. And this moment where Oliver is yelling at Curtis for not taking the whole mission seriously and cracking jokes, and then Laurel has to take him aside, and Oliver's frustrated because he feels like he can save a city every night, but he can't save his relationship. And he was only yelling at Curtis because he felt like the job, he doesn't like what he does. He thought he only came back to Star City because of Felicity and thought they could have everything and fight crime and not give into the darkness, but now he's not sure if he can. And Laura reminds them that what he did. He made bad choices, and that's why they broke up. And he can still be a beacon of hope for people and take comfort in that, and just use a little bit of hope for himself. Which I like it. Like I said, she's being like a sisterly figure to, at least to Oliver, which I appreciate. So it feels like she's kind of found her niche. She's kind of found her role on this team, and not being, and there's no backpedaling, no character derailment anymore. And also, and just moral support, and while she's still trapped inside, Felicity gets the idea to get into an elevator supposed to lead down to the other arrow cave that was supposed to be below Palm Attack, and use Curtis's T-spears as explosives to blow a hole in the wall from the elevator to get the board of directors out. And they're confronted by Brie Larson, the bug-eyed bandit, who was actually she was on Flash season 1 all-star team up when Ray and Felicity were guest stars, and they get the board members and Felicity's mom out, and she explains why she needs the biochip. Felicity tells her where to find the specs for make another biochip, and Felicity confides in Thea how she's frustrated with all the violence, and Thea says that, well, she knows that's the life they live, but they push past it, and that's why their team was supposed to be this beacon of hope. And later in the episode, she keeps saying, don't you miss this? Don't you want to come back to the team? And she says she still can't work with Oliver, but she feels like she can still be a beacon of hope, in which she can work on the microchip to eliminate paralysis and other projects in order to turn Palmer Tech into a beacon of hope and still make a difference in the world while not being on Team Arrow. And Bree realizes that Felicity was the hacker that ended up sending her to prison back last year, and instead of just wanting to leave the building, still wants to kill her. And when Oliver comes to the rescue and tries to stop her with the bolo arrow and tie her up, she breaks free and shoots Oliver in the chest, but Curtis is able to hack into the robotic bees and sting Brie Larvin with the toxin and incapacitate her. And the reality of just how intense a situation like this is starts to hit Curtis, and Oliver apologizes to Curtis from before, and that he's welcome to help out whenever he can. He goes home to his husband and lies about what was going on, and it seems like it's going to may cause a rift in their relationship, because now he's going to have to live this double life now. And they're pretty much. And also, Damien Dark was in prison. Malcolm tells him that Hive no longer wants to be affiliated with him because of how he kills agents when he's pissed off and his involvement with magic. And he gets beat up in prison by Murmur, who's a villain from season 3 episode 16, but he's able to coerce Murmur onto his side by threatening his grandmother, so he shanks the other 2 prisoners who were Murmur's muscle originally. And Malcolm, it seems like he's not necessarily affiliated with Hive. I'm not sure, but apparently he reveals at the end of the episode that Damien Dark still has an ace in the hole, and apparently it's still Andy Diggle, who's apparently still a loyal agent of Hive, which is going to be an interesting twist, because now it seems like next week's episode is going to be where they finally find out who's in the grave. And I'm starting to wonder, at first I thought it was Laurel based on behind the scenes photos, but now I'm starting to wonder if maybe it is Diggle. I mean, who knows? So I give the episode a 6.5 out of 10. I know the beast sentinel robot thing seemed kind of a little over the top and fantastical, but it was nice that they bring some of that sci-fi stuff back into Arrow, just because it feels like it's losing a little bit of its steam because of all the Odyssey drama. And also, like I said, the negatives were Brie Larvin's constant B puns. Like not even she made this many cheesy lines on the Flash, and just Donna Smoke just not really. She was kind of just there, and of course, the flashbacks are still as pointless as shit. Hopefully next week's episode, Arrow will gain back some of its momentum, and like I said, I thought season 4 got off to a really strong start, and at first I didn't think I liked Olicity a lot, but I don't hate it. But I can see why everyone in the line, more and more people complain that now it's been like a detriment to the show now because of it's still a little bit angsty, and it's been a little bit too much of the focus of how they feel like it's taken away from season 4. But like I said, other positive points. Laurel is becoming more likable, finally finding her niche, and like the Team Arrow is growing bigger, stuff like that. So anyway, what do you guys think of the episode? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.